any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed. Okay. If they get disclosed.
All right, you guys ready?
Put me in a situation where I will have to.
All right, Casey, Farah, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. If I can ask everybody to mute. What we're gonna do, half an hour to an hour. We're just gonna talk, and then afterward, we'll just have a conversation. If you guys have any questions, we'll just have a Q&A. I love you guys. Thank you for being here.
That's going to create real problems.
All right.
Okay. You can't do it. That's what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay.
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope. Today's podcast, we're going to talk about preserving the evidence. The police department has an obligation to preserve the evidence. The police department, the prosecutor office, prosecutor Sarah Sami, is accusing Mustafa, bringing up charges that Mustafa intentionally murdered his family. And they're telling you that Mustafa used his vehicle, crashed the vehicle on purpose, murdering his family. Now, details are coming out of the case show that this is a vehicle accident, that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time, that the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure, that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time, but the vehicle would not stop. There's brake failure. According to a witness and according to the main investigator on a sealed body cam that now has leaked, show that Mustafa avoided every vehicle, made it to the fourth lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa, into the fourth lane. That's according to the main investigator, Robert Drum, and a witness on a body cam, on a sealed body cam. The steering angle is counterclockwise, away from the vehicle. Every detail in this case showed that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. Now, what the police department have done, the prosecution office sealed this case, falsified the reports, and are telling you that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. That's what they're telling you, that Mustafa used his vehicle, murdering his family. That's what they're telling you, that the weapon here is the vehicle. Now, the police department and the prosecution office has an obligation. They're telling you that the weapon that's being used here is the vehicle. Now, the police department and the prosecution office has an obligation to preserve the evidence. The evidence in this case is the vehicle. What we're finding out, that the police department crushed the vehicle. We have pictures of the vehicle after the accident, intact, and we're going to take a look at the vehicle. And we have pictures of the vehicle completely crushed inside the police department. Now, if I was the prosecution office, how would I prove my case? I mean, this case has to go to trial. And you, as a prosecutor, prosecutor Sarah Sami, and prosecutor Stephanie Buck, have to present her case in front of the jury. 12 individuals have to sit and listen to this prosecutor make her case that Mustafa crashed the vehicle on purpose. Now, the prosecution need the vehicle, but in this case, they crushed the vehicle. We're going to look at the pictures of the vehicle, what they've done to the vehicle, and we're going to ask a simple question. What happened to preserving the evidence? How could Mustafa defend himself If you crushed the vehicle, why did you crush the vehicle? Now, we have evidence that this is a car accident. We have evidence that you crushed and staged the vehicle. The reason that you crushed it is because you know this is a car accident and you want to avoid the evidence in this case, the vehicle. You're staging the vehicle. We're going to look at sealed body cams that now have been leaked. We're going to look at pictures. And we're going to ask a question. What is the police department doing in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case? Why have they crushed and not preserved the evidence? Did they stage Mustafa's vehicle? And now that there's a leak in Mustafa's case that we're finding out that the police department are staging this whole entire case? One case that we're going to look at is a case that was referenced by prosecutor Sarah Sammy. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy tells Judge Weimer that she wants to use and reference the Martinez case so that she can bring in the EDR data. The EDR, the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle. And she referenced the Martinez case. So what I've done, we went and pulled up the Martinez case. We're going to look at the Martinez case and what we're finding in the Martinez case and when we're comparing it to what you're supposed to be doing in Mustafa's case is disturbing. So we're going to look at the Martinez case and we're going to find out and we're going to ask, did you stage and crush Mustafa's vehicle? The Martinez case is going to answer that question for us.
Morning, Chief.
Morning. Just grabbing a little H2O before the next briefing. You know, a lot of good conversations start right here at this cooler. Keeps the department running and hydrated. Now,
Chief, we have a problem.
what's going on?
The Mustafa brothers. One of them got into evidence storage, took the Redfield file.
You're sure?
Caught him on the cameras 10 minutes ago.
Damn it.
Detective Forrester's been trying to track him since.
He knew exactly what he wanted. Folder was gone when I came back from the
All
lab.
right, lock down the exits.
We've lost another body cam node. Pull up the feed.
Found him. It's Mustafa brother. He has the cams.
Lock down the servers. Now!
He's already inside.
Turn. This is for you, Agent Doyle. Full clip. Don't let them bury it.
Garcia, it's Reed. I need a location on Mustafa brother, now.
Found him on a ride-share trace, heading south on East Street, plate ending 068.
Sending coordinates now.
Copy that. Keep the feet up.
I'm moving. Garcia, it's Reed. I need a location on Mustafa brother, now.
The broadcast talk to me.
Rideshare just dropped him downtown. He's heading for a studio called FM Wave.
Copy that. Put eyes on the block and lock it down. Whatever you do, don't let him air that file on his podcast. Units are en route.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope. I want to thank Farah. I want to thank Casey. I want to thank Becky for joining us on this podcast. Becky, I love you, ma'am. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Send me a request so I can bring you up. I'm going to ask everybody to mute themselves. Everybody's on TikTok. I'm going to ask everybody to find us on YouTube. We're live on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Hit the like button, share the podcast, and if you have any question into the Mustafa Al-Jazairi, leave me a comment, and I'm going to cover it, hopefully maybe on the next podcast. On this podcast, what we're going to talk about is preserving the evidence. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy referenced the Martinez case. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy wants to bring in the EDR, and for her to bring in the EDR from Mustafa's vehicle and the other vehicle involved in this accident, she is referencing the Martinez case. Now, what we've done, we've pulled the Martinez case. And what we're finding is an answer to a question that we've been asking for the past going on 3 years in Mustafa's case. Mustafa's been sitting in solitary confinement in a county jail without a trial for going over 3 years. Every time his trial comes up, the prosecution office push the trial further. They refuse to go to trial. They're terrified. Now, if I was the prosecution office, I understand why they're terrified. I mean, what's coming out of this case is that they crushed Mustafa's vehicle. The prosecution office is accusing Mustafa that he crashed his vehicle on purpose. Now, they have an obligation to preserve the evidence. The evidence in this case, they're telling you that Mustafa murdered his family using his vehicle. The weapon here, they're telling you that the weapon is the vehicle. Why have they crushed Mustafa's vehicle? Did they crush it because details that are coming out of this case show that this is a car accident? That the ACM, the computer inside Mustafa's vehicle, showed that his foot is on the brake the whole entire time? That when they inspected Mustafa's vehicle, they found brake failure. Is that why they crushed Mustafa's vehicle? On the last podcast, we talked about Mustafa's vehicle. And we looked at Mustafa's vehicle after the accident. And we looked at Mustafa's vehicle inside the police department. So Mustafa's vehicle at the scene after the accident looks completely intact. Inside the police department looks completely crushed. Now, unfortunately for the police department, the news is in their back pocket and they're comfortable that this case is sealed. Well, I've got news for the prosecution office. That video where we talk about the police department crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle have reached 59,000 views. So if your strategy, prosecutor Sarah Sammy, if your strategy is that you have NBC4, Julie Carey in your back pocket, that the community is not going to find out what your officers did in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case because you sealed it and the news is not reporting on it. Well, I've got news for you, ma'am. The video where your police department crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle reached 59,000 views. Let's look at what I'm talking about. Now, if you go to our Facebook, let's see if I can get to our Facebook, and you go over to Reels. Let's see. You scroll up. All right, let's see if I can find the video. So you can find us on Facebook under Not Another Boring Podcast. If you type that on Facebook, you're going to have our page. Go to Reels, scroll up. You're going to see the videos from the last podcast. And this video reached 58,000 views. 58,000 views. I mean, this is a problem for the prosecution office because prosecutor Sarah Sammy and prosecutor Stephanie Buck, under the leadership of Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, went to Judge Weimer and they sealed off this case. But unfortunately for them, I've managed to take the file and I'm leaking it on the internet. And what we're finding in this file is disturbing. This is Mustafa's vehicle. So whatever strategy they had is miserably failing. That they're going to seal off this case. This is Mustafa's vehicle. This is what they're hiding from the community. This is Mustafa's vehicle after the accident. at the scene. In the beginning, they told us, when we asked, why was Mustafa's vehicle crushed? I mean, the vehicle went from this to this. We said, what happened to the vehicle? They told us that this was part of the rescue efforts, that they were rescuing Mustafa and his family, and that's why they had to chop up, and the vehicle ended up like this. Now, the problem here is after the accident, at the scene, everybody is already out of the vehicle. You can clearly see that everybody is out of the vehicle. No one is in the vehicle. So clearly, it's not part of the rescue efforts. The county, the police department, the prosecution office quickly changed their story. All of a sudden, they tell you, no, the reason the vehicle was crushed is because we wanted and we were extracting the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle. Now, wait a minute. That's another problem. You're telling me that you wanted to get the computer inside the vehicle, and that's why the vehicle was crushed? Well, hold on now. The computer inside the vehicle sits right under the shifter, right there. This vehicle was not crushed in for you to remove the roof, crush the vehicle in different places. I mean, I can understand if the vehicle was caved in, that you had to remove the roof and roll the vehicle. But clearly, the vehicle is not caved in. So there has to be another reason. Is it because you're staging Mustafa's vehicle? I mean, the vehicle went from this to, I mean, this is the police department chopping up at the vehicle to where the vehicle ended up like this. That's what happened to the vehicle. Clearly, it's not the ACM. So you lied to us about the rescue effort, that you were rescuing Mustafa and his family. You lied to us about the computer inside the vehicle. The only conclusion is that you're staging the vehicle. What we've done, we went to the junkyard. And we looked at the same exact vehicle, Mustafa's vehicle. And we recorded a video how long it takes to extract the computer inside the vehicle. And it literally took 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. It's right under the shifter. And it takes just about 5 minutes. And you can remove the computer. So why did they crush Mustafa's vehicle? Now, we're going to listen to, before we go into the Martinez case, which is going to take this whole entire case to a whole new level. The Martinez case is telling us that the police department are not allowed to remove the computer inside the vehicle. Before we go into the Martinez case, let's listen to what the officer is telling us and why they chopped up the vehicle. So we have a leaked body cam where Investigator Davis on body cam is telling you why the county chopped up the vehicle and why the vehicle look the way it does. And we're going to find out, is he lying to us? Is this a cover-up? Did they actually stage the vehicle, crush it and stage it? Or is he telling the truth that they cut the vehicle because they wanted the computer? Let's listen to the officer and we'll find out. We're going to take it one step at a time.
Okay. Did you do anything inappropriate to it? We also, well, the other thing too that I forgot to tell you, we put this could have taken this into account. The fire department cut the the top off for us. They also rolled the steering wheel forward so we could get the box out. So they had their big hydraulic, thing set up right, like where the B pillar would be, pushing the front forward. So I guess that could that have caused the lengthening of the car per se?
Absolutely.
Okay. I actually didn't even think about that until just now. When they rolled out that forward, that would have pushed. Yeah, because they. Yeah, because they. I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them, and then put their machine here, and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that very well could have made the length longer.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. And it caused that to push forward also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that was.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that. We also.
All right. So here, this is Investigator Davis. And Investigator Davis is telling you the reason that the vehicle is chopped up and it looks like this is because we had the fire department extract the computer inside the vehicle. So, in the beginning, they told us it was part of the rescue efforts. When we said, we have pictures of the vehicle, everybody's already out of the vehicle, the story quickly changed. Everybody is out of the vehicle. Mustafa and his family. Clearly, the vehicle is still intact. Quickly, the story changed. Now, they want to tell us that they had the fire department chop up the vehicle because they wanted the computer inside the vehicle, where clearly you have access to get the computer. I want to pull up the video where we went to the junkyard and let's see if I can find it. Where we went to the junkyard and pulled up the ACM without having to chop at the vehicle. Because remember, the vehicle is not caved in. Let's see if I can find it. All right, it's here somewhere. We went to the junkyard and we found the same exact vehicle. There we go.
What is this, 2007 Chrysler 300. Same exact year, same exact vehicle.
Your police department, Investigator Davis and Investigator Robert Drum says they crushed the vehicle specifically where Dorothy sits, the B pillar, because they wanted to get the box in the ACM. Well, I have pictures of the vehicle after the accident at the scene. The vehicle wasn't caved in. They had access to the ACM. They had access to the box. And I have pictures of the vehicle inside the police department where they're crushing the vehicle and they're saying, we want to get to the ACM. They had access to the ACM. Right here is the vehicle. So, Mustafa's vehicle was not caved in, so you can clearly easily go in and access the ACM, which sits right under the shifter.
This is the same vehicle that Mustafa drive. This is where the ATM is. You literally, you just yank that part. That's where the ACM sits. The ACM is right here. You get this out of the way. It's held by 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it out. Take out 1 wire, 2 wires. Okay. And then you have a 10 right there. Okay, basic tools. Basic tools. Okay. You go in here, you take out 2 wires, you rip this fucking plastic piece out. You rip this plastic piece out. You take out 2 bolts, and it's right there. The body cam show.
That's the ACM. Literally less than a couple of minutes, and you have access to the ACM. On the body cam, we listen to Investigator Davis. On body cam, tell you the reason the vehicle was chopped up and crushed the way it is crushed is because they had the fire department remove the roof, cut the vehicle to get the ACM. But it takes a couple of minutes to get the ACM. The vehicle was not caved in. Gonna look at the vehicle. This vehicle was not caved in. So you clearly have access to the vehicle. Now, the prosecutor in court is referencing the Martinez case. And she's telling the presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer, that she wants to pull in the EDR, the computer inside the vehicle, from Mustafa's vehicle and the SUV. And she's referencing the Martinez case so that she can bring in the EDR. What we've done, we went and pulled the Martinez case. And what we found is disturbing. Because the main investigator, Robert Drum, is testifying in the Martinez case that the police department, they're not allowed to pull the computer out of the vehicle. That they have an equipment where they can plug in a wire and download the data. Wait a minute. We just listened to Investigator Davis on body cam tell us that they had the fire department chop up the vehicle because they wanted to pull the computer out of the vehicle. Let's read what the main investigator on Mustafa's case, Robert Drum, is testifying in the Martinez case. And let's see if they followed the same procedure. Are they allowed to pull Mustafa's computer out of the vehicle? I mean, we're sitting here talking about that the vehicle is not caved in, that you have access to go in and get the computer, that you didn't have to crush the vehicle, that you're crushing the vehicle because you're crushing and staging it. And then turn around, you find out that they're not allowed to pull the computer out of the vehicle. Let's look at the Martinez case so that way we have a reference point. All right, so if you go on TikTok, civil injustice, you're going to find Mr. President. So civil, if you type civil on TikTok, civil injustice, this document has been posted. Should be posted on that page. Let's see if I can pull it up.
President.
There we go. So if you go on TikTok, unredacted files, podcast, you're going to find a document from the Martinez case where it talks about what they were supposed to do and what they've done in Mustafa's case. What they were supposed to do is plug a computer into the EDR, not pull the EDR. Let's read what they're saying in the Martinez case. All right, so this is page 576. So 576, okay. In applying the reliability inquiry of EDR evidence, factors to be taken into consideration to determine its reliability include that this technology has been around for decades. It is reliable so much that automobile manufacturers rely on it to design vehicles. It is relied on by National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, police department, crash investigators, and any engineers within the scientific community that use such technology. In addition to its wide use, the design of the technology itself is inherently reliable. The Commonwealth expect investigator Drum to testify. Okay, so they're making a case where they're telling you that the EDR data, the computer inside the vehicle, is so reliable that it can tell you what is going on inside the vehicle. Whether you're hitting the brake, whether you're avoiding, it can tell you the speed, it can tell you the details of what the driver is doing. That computer captures this data. And they're telling you that it's reliable. They're making a case that the computer inside the vehicle is a reliable equipment, reliable data to use and find out what the driver is doing in a vehicle. And here, they're bringing in investigator Robert Drum. The Commonwealth expect investigator Drum to testify to the design of this technology based on his training and expertise. Investigator Robert Drum is the main investigator on the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case. He's the same investigator that we have evidence that falsified Mustafa's statements. That's the main investigator. So this is the Martinez case where he's testifying in the Martinez case on the EDR data. The Commonwealth expect investigator Drum to testify to the design of this technology based on his training and expertise. The event data recorder is designed when the vehicle is manufactured, and the data on that device can never be altered or deleted. They're telling you the data cannot be deleted or altered. When you capture the data, you can't alter or delete it. It remains there indefinitely unless the actual EDR is destroyed. Thus, if the EDR box is intact, the only method to retrieve listen to what they say here. The only method to retrieve the actual data is to download it using the appropriate download device. The box itself cannot even be removed from the vehicle for download. So wait a minute. Why is Investigator Davis telling us that they chopped up the vehicle? Because he says they wanted to remove the EDR. This is Robert Drum testifying in the Martinez case, telling you that you're not allowed to remove the EDR. You plug in an equipment and you download the data. So why was the box, the EDR, removed in Mustafa's case? Is it an excuse to stage Mustafa's vehicle and crush it and make it look like Mustafa intentionally crashed the vehicle? I mean, they're staging the vehicle at that point. And here they are. They're using that as an excuse. That, hey, we wanted to go in and get the computer. That's why the vehicle is chopped up. Let's read that one more time. And then what we're going to do, we're going to listen to Investigator Davis tell us why the vehicle is chopped up. The Commonwealth expect Investigator Drum to testify to the design of this technology based on his training and expertise. The event data recorder is designed when the vehicle is manufactured, and the data on that device can never be altered or deleted. It remains there indefinitely unless the actual EDR is destroyed. Thus, if the EDR box is intact, the only method to retrieve the actual data is to download it using the appropriate downloading device. The box itself cannot be removed from the vehicle. The box itself cannot even be removed from the vehicle for download. In addition to the pertinence of the data, it is also the type of data that it records. The data that it records is based on a specific event, which is typically any airbag deployment. Thus, anytime an airbag deploys, the EDR will record all data from 5 seconds before, and it become ingrained in the device indefinitely. It records speed, depression, and acceleration of brakes, ignition cycle for the crash, ignition cycle for the download, safety belt status of driver and passenger, delta V, engine throttle, any service light on, which airbag deployed, steering input. Question here is, where is the steering input for the Suburban, the other vehicle involved in this accident? We're going on 4 years without a trial, and this information, which is exculpatory evidence, is nowhere to be found. The prosecution office is hiding the steering input from the SUV. I mean, according to the investigator, according to a witness, Mustafa cleared the SUV into the 4th lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa into the 4th lane. That would mean that Mustafa is avoiding the vehicle accident. The steering angle for the SUV is nowhere to be found. They're hiding that information. They don't want to release it, because once you release it, you have no case. The key point that you want to take out of the Martinez case, the box, the EDR box, the box itself cannot even be removed from the vehicle for the download. The only method to retrieve the actual data is to download it using an appropriate downloading device. Let's listen to Investigator Davis one more time. Tell us why Mustafa's vehicle went from this after the accident at the scene to where now it looks like this. Keep in mind, we just read the case that the prosecutor is referencing, the Martinez case, that you can't take the box out and you have to download the box using an equipment. You can't take it out. So why is Investigator Davis telling us that the reason the vehicle is chopped up is because they were removing the ACM out of the vehicle?
Oh, well, the other thing too that I forgot to tell you, we put this could have taken this into account. The fire department cut the top off for us. They also rolled the steering wheel forward so we could get the box out. So they had their big hydraulic, thing set up right, like where the B pillar would be, pushing the front forward. So I guess that could that have caused the lengthening of the car per se?
Absolutely.
Okay. I actually didn't even think about that until just now. When they rolled out that forward, that would have pushed. Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them, and then put their machine here, and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that could have made the length longer.
Yeah.
To get the box out, But the Martinez case, you're not allowed to take the box out of the vehicle. You're supposed to plug in a computer and download the data. I have another sealed body cam where an independent expert, the presiding judge, gave an order to inspect the vehicle because the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle. What are they hiding in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case? That the vehicle is crushed. They don't want anybody to look at Mustafa's vehicle. Did they inspect Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure? The police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle and found brake failure. Let's look at the body cam where the police department found brake failure. Now, evidence showed there's brake failure. Evidence showed that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. This is the ACM in Mustafa's vehicle that show Mustafa's foot is on the brake. Let's pull that up. This is Mustafa's foot. It's on the brake the whole entire time. That's Mustafa's foot on the brake the whole entire time. Now, pay attention to Mustafa's foot is not on the gas pedal. He's not hitting the gas. His foot is only on the brake. Now, the police department inspected Mustafa's vehicle, and the police department found brake failure. That the front caliper, the front passenger caliper, and the back passenger caliper did not work. This is the police department while they were inspecting Mustafa's vehicle.
Right rear tire brake didn't engage.
So Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. But the vehicle brake did not work, did not engage. So Mustafa's hitting the brake and there is no brake. The vehicle, the brake would not work. Now, the police department, the judge issued an order for Mustafa defense to have an independent expert to inspect the car. Inspect the vehicle. Find out what happened. Now, explain to me why the police department, the same investigator, Robert Drum, the same investigator that falsified Mustafa's statements, the same investigator is blocking the independent expert. And he tells that independent expert, that prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, says, you cannot inspect the vehicle. Now, this is a sealed body cam that now has been leaked. Today, Mustafa sits in solitary, going on over 3 years. The case is not going to trial because the prosecutor, we're finding out that it's blocking the evidence from moving forward. How could you go to trial when you're blocking the independent expert of the vehicle? Now, in this body cam, you're going to see the investigator tell the independent expert. He's blocking him and he's telling him, the prosecutor Sarah Sammy, says you can't touch the vehicle. And then he goes on, he talks about the EDR, the computer inside the vehicle. He says, we pulled the EDR, that computer, that you're not allowed to pull out of the vehicle. The same investigator that testified in the Martinez case that you can't pull the computer is telling an independent expert that we pulled the computer and we have it sitting in a locker. The question here is, why did you pull the computer out of Mustafa's vehicle? One, we clearly know that you could have pulled that computer without crushing the vehicle. And now we're finding out that you're not supposed to pull that computer out of the vehicle. Let's listen to the sealed body cam where investigator Robert Drum is telling an independent expert, one, he's blocking the independent expert. Two, he's telling him that we pulled the computer and it's sitting in a locker.
Get measurements, photographs, And the module, is it with the
question here, what happened to preserving the evidence?
authority? I've got that.
We have it in property and evidence.
Okay.
Avenue.
Get measurements, photographs. And the module, is it with the car? Y'all got that?
We have it in property and evidence.
Okay.
Avenue.
If you need to go, do you have a Bosch EDR kit? If you want to meet us at like property and evidence one day, we'll open it up.
Okay.
And let you do whatever you do with it.
Yeah.
And then so you can image it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll just put it back in the property.
Sure. Okay.
So you have my card?
Yeah.
Since it's already done as a court order, right? For the EDR?
No.
I mean, are we all on the same page here? The computer that you're not supposed to pull, the computer that you're using a pretext while you crushed a vehicle is sitting in a locker. Wait a minute. Did you not testify that this module, this computer, you're not supposed to pull it out of the vehicle? Did you not testify in the Martinez case? Did you think that no one was going to look into what you're supposed to do and what you actually done in Mustafa's case? Let's listen to that one more time.
He had filed a motion to get the
Get measurements, photographs. And the module, is it with the car? Y'all got that?
We have it in property and evidence.
Okay.
Avenue.
The module, is it? Where's the module? Oh, we have it in the locker with evidence, sitting in evidence, sitting in a locker. I mean, the more you look into Mustafa's case, I mean, take a hard look at Mustafa's vehicle. What have you done to the vehicle? I mean, whatever happened to preserving the evidence? I mean, all right, I'm the prosecutor. I'm accusing Mustafa that he intentionally crashed his vehicle, murdering his family, and that the weapon here is the vehicle. I mean, I'm going to take Mustafa to court, and the jury's going to be there. There's 12 jurors, and I want to prove my case that this Mustafa murdered his family, and the weapon here is the vehicle. How am I, as a prosecutor, how am I going to prove my case if the vehicle, if the weapon, if the vehicle, if the evidence is destroyed? You don't even have a case anymore. You do not have a case. The fact that you crushed and destroyed the evidence, you don't have a case. I find it really interesting. The lawyers that are coming in, I mean, it says a lot about the lawyers that are coming in that are pretending that this is not the reality of the case. I mean, any lawyer that comes into this case and doesn't immediately file a motion to dismiss is compromised. Is protecting the county. Is protecting the police department. I mean, here's a question for you. This vehicle, after the accident, this is a picture of the vehicle after the accident at the scene. Now, the county give crash investigators, the unit for the crash investigator, an equipment just about $500,000. It's called a Faro scan. And a Faro scan is going to scan this vehicle. It's going to scan the other vehicle involved in the accident. And it's going to tell you exactly how the accident happened. It's going to scan the road. It's going to scan the vehicle number 1, vehicle number 2. The question here is, where is the Faro scan? Is that not exculpatory evidence? Why has that been removed from Mustafa's case? Why isn't Mustafa's lawyer, Mustafa's defense attorney, why are you not asking for the original scan? Here's a question. When we brought in the independent expert and he was scanning and was attempting to reconstruct the vehicle accident. He also has a Faro scan, and he took pictures of the vehicle. Now, here's a problem. The county crushed the vehicle, so when you're taking pictures of this vehicle, you no longer have an accurate representation of what happened because the vehicle's been crushed. The computer is not going to pick up what actually happened. It's going to pick up on a crushed vehicle, which is not going to work. I mean, let me ask you a real question. Did you crush and stage Mustafa's vehicle only for us to bring in an independent expert where you blocked him from touching the vehicle, but you allowed him to take pictures with his Faro scan? Was that the idea, that you crushed the vehicle, made it look intentional, so that way the Faro scan is going to pick up that this is an intentional collision? I mean, if you were to scan this vehicle, 100%, this, the way it is right now, is an intentional collision. The computer is not going to pick up what actually happened. And the question is, where is the original Faro scan? Let's look at what Robert Drum told the independent experts. He told him, you can take pictures, but you can't touch the vehicle. So they removed the original scan. Let's see if I can find it. There we go.
Which one is it?
What's that?
Which one is it?
It's in the box.
This is the independent expert that I paid at the time $5,000. This is the defense attorney, Casey Stephen, at the time. And you're going to see that Robert Drum is telling the independent experts, you can scan the vehicle that the county crushed, the police department crushed, but you can't touch the vehicle. Is blocking that inspection. Because once you're allowed to touch the vehicle, you're going to find out that it has brake failure, that it has, we're going to find out what actually happened. You're going to be able to write a complete report.
Which one is it?
What's that?
Which one is it?
It's in the box. Per my conversation with Sarah, said this is the first time I've ever done this.
Sarah is the prosecutor Sarah Sammy, who's telling the judge, if it wasn't for this leaked body cam in court, she's telling the judge that she allowed the independent expert, that this never happened. They never blocked the inspection. They allowed him to inspect the vehicle. If it wasn't for this leaked body cam, they blocked the inspection.
Which one is it?
What's that?
Which one is it?
It's in the box. Per my conversation with Sarah, said this is the first time I've ever done this in 18 years. She said we can pull it out for you.
Yeah.
You can look at it. She doesn't want anybody touching it.
Okay.
Touching it, can I?
Like if you want to take pictures and all that, but if anything needs to be manipulated, we'll do it for you for chain of custody issues.
Perfect. Sure. Okay.
But yeah, you're more than welcome to poke around.
Yeah.
But nothing gets smooth, changed, or anything like that. So.
Did y'all already pull the module?
ACM?
They pulled the EDR that they were not allowed to pull.
Yeah, we've got it.
Okay.
That was put into evidence.
Did y'all already pull the module?
ACM? Yeah, we've got it.
Okay.
That was put into evidence. The EDR download's already been done, but if you want to go in and do it again, be my guest.
Okay, I didn't know if y'all had the module.
Sorry, we got some Dumfries cop doing something right now.
The bottom line is there is a lot of questions in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi that the county has to answer for. The evidence that they were supposed to preserve, they didn't preserve it. They're supposed to preserve the evidence. You're accusing Mustafa and you're saying that he intentionally crashed the vehicle, and the weapon here is the vehicle, you have an obligation to preserve the evidence. The evidence was not preserved. The vehicle went from this after the accident at the scene to that. What happened to the vehicle? What have you done to the vehicle? I mean, everything that you've told us from day one is a lie. First, you said that it's part of the rescue effort. Well, clearly, from the picture, everybody is already out of the vehicle. Then you switched up your story and you said because of the EDR, we chopped up the vehicle. Well, the vehicle was not caved in. You could have clearly extracted the EDR without crushing the vehicle. And now we're finding out, based on a case that you're referencing, the Martinez case, you're not allowed to remove the EDR. Look, the bottom line is, any lawyer that comes into the Mustafa's case, if they're not immediately filing a motion to dismiss, they're protecting the county. I mean, how could this case go to trial with a crushed vehicle? I mean, how could the prosecution prove their point? How could Mustafa defend himself? They're terrified to go to trial. I mean, the bottom line is the reason they're not going to trial, they're blocking the independent expert from looking at the vehicle, because once you have an independent expert that's going to look at the vehicle, he's going to write a complete report. And he's going to tell you, you, the county, you, the police department, crushed and staged the vehicle. They're terrified from going to trial. I mean, Mustafa has been in solitary going over 3 years. By December is going to be 4. Without a trial? I wonder, what is the prosecution office so terrified that they're not going to trial? Oh, maybe it has something to do with a crushed vehicle? Oh, they crushed the evidence. They sealed off the file, hoping that no one is going to find out. Oh, by the way, did you know that the jury is going to be looking at this picture? And the prosecutor is telling the jury that this damage is because of the accident. That Mustafa caused the vehicle to be damaged like this. That this is from the accident. The jury, I mean, really let that sink in. The jury is going to be sitting in trial. They're not going to look at the vehicle, this vehicle. They're going to be looking at this vehicle. I mean, you crushed it. You're going to tell the jury what? That it was crushed here, it was crushed here, it was crushed here, it was crushed there because of Mustafa? That he intentionally did this. You crushed it. You crushed the vehicle. Every piece of evidence showed that this is a car accident. And you crushed it because you're hiding the evidence. You want to stage a vehicle, and now the file has been leaked. There is no way you can contain this. There is no way you can explain this other than our officers. I mean, what is the prosecution? The prosecution office is going to have to come out and say, our officers used the fire department inside the police department and they crushed and staged the vehicle. There is no reason that justified the vehicle looking like this. Absolutely no reason. I mean, we just went through everything that the police department is telling us. And it's a lie built on a lie built inside of another lie. The bottom line is they crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. The prosecution office sealed off the case, and now it's been leaked. There's a lot of questions that the prosecution office and the police department has to answer for, that the county has to answer the questions. What are you doing in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case? I mean, this is just one section into what they've done in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case. They didn't just crush and stage Mustafa's vehicle. They falsified his statements. They cut and muted his dash camera, violated the chain. I mean, one of the thing I can't get over is the prosecutor is arguing the chain of custody inside the court over the dash camera when the investigator that handled the dash camera is telling the judge, I broke the chain of custody. I handled the dash camera without a warrant. And today you have a dash camera that has no audio, is cut before impact, has 17 frames missing from the camera facing inside the vehicle. I've got a beautiful surprise for the prosecution office about this dash camera. I'm just waiting for this case to play out the way it's supposed to play out. And I'll promise you, by the time it's over, there's a time and place for everything. Vehicle that's crushed and staged by the police department, a dash camera cut and muted by the police department, statements from Mustafa that's been falsified by the police department, children that are 9, 10, and 14 weaponized by the police department. I mean, we're looking at this vehicle crushed and staged. That's only one section into the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case. Every piece of evidence in the Mustafa Al-Jazairi has been falsified by the police department. And now we have the whole file that's leaked that we can, it's no longer my word against the police department. It's no longer my word against prosecutor Sarah Sammy and prosecutor Stephanie Buck. No, I have their file. And we can sit here and we can go through this file and find out, did you, the county, falsify the Mustafa Al-Jazairi case? We have the evidence. We have the file. The sealed file has now been leaked. Mustafa Al-Jazairi lost his family in a vehicle accident. In detail that's coming out of this case showed that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope.
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it. That's what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay.